Hey, it's Maverick Mike here, and thank you so much for tuning in. The question is, how do I know if I'm in a cult? That's a great question. Let's define cult first. A cult is basically a group of people with a view that is significantly different than what the Bible's saying in an area which is absolutely critical. Okay, now there might be different groups who disagree on, let's say, for example, how baptism should be done. Okay, I wouldn't call them a cult if some people believe that baptism should be done this way and other people think, well, I read the Bible and it seems like baptism should be done this way. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about these secondary or tertiary issues. We're talking about primary issues. Things like Jesus' deity, is Jesus' godness, okay? So for example, one cult I'm thinking about, or actually several cults that I'm thinking about, they actually don't believe that Jesus is God, like Almighty God. Now, they might actually say Jesus is God, but their definition of God has been changed to something that is more like, a being that's kind of in between God and people, kind of like a angel type of thing, something like that. So it's important to try to figure out what people are really saying when they're using these terms, because oftentimes it can be very confusing. So I'm just thinking off the top of my head, the two big ones, the two big cults, the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons. Okay, so you can look into that a little bit more. So that's an example of a cult. And another point I like to just kind of talk about when it comes to cults is practice, okay? Now, typically, a lot of cults, not only do they have an error in their thinking on a core issue, but they're very controlling, okay? The way they run their ship. So they might say things like, hey, you know what? I'm the prophet, or I'm the teacher, I'm the messenger of God, so you need to listen to what I have to say. So they're trying to control your life, okay? And they're trying to control your life in areas that they think they should be controlling you on, okay? So they might say things like, you need to be more committed to the church. You need to help out more with what our church is doing, or you need to quit your job and dedicate your time to helping out with the church. So it's usually always, they'll always say something like that, okay? Or you need to stop talking to your family members because they're criticizing our church, and that's not cool. You need to cut them off. So that's what I mean by practice. Yeah, so that's a very common practice when it comes to cults. They try to pretty much control you, and control the influences in your life to the point where only they are influencing you. Does that make sense? So I hope that helps you out, and I hope that it keeps you on your toes, because there really are a bunch of cults out there who are trying to control people, unfortunately. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below. Thank you.